Well, hello YouTube. This is another video in the series of the Emotional Vampires series. It came to my attention in several different ways that I needed to make yet another video in this series. Some comments left on the video series made me aware that there are some emotional vampires out there who are turning the tables and seeing yet themselves as they suck more energy from their prey via my videos. I also received a few disturbing personal mails about EV partners who used my video series to make their point to their victims and therefore turning the tables on them. This video in the series is going to be entitled How to Spot the EV in You. This is in fact for the EVs who are the predator and not the victim and don't know how to spot the EV within them. Several different ways come to mind, one of them being how you react to things. How do you react to the general world around you when you hear a story or read about an atrocity that is just too horrific for most people to comprehend? Do you run with it? Is it all you talk about for days in a melodramatic way? Do you have the ability to empathize with the victim or victims? You might be one of those who say, I know how that person's feeling because when I went through this, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you tend to forget that this story that you heard isn't about you. That's one of the first things that come to mind. Or do you incorporate the story and make it your own and you aren't the one who really went through that at all? So how you react to things that you hear might be a good way of spotting whether you're an emotional vampire or not. Generally, you're trying to extract sympathy for the experiences that you've been through. Or do you become angry about the story that you heard? You are outraged that this story is getting attention, and yet you went through the same thing and no one seemed to care. Does it make you feel indignant? Are you demanding that people recognize that you've been through the same thing and that you have pain too? That's another EV tactic. So our responses can say a lot about who we are and what we try and gain from other people. So that's just some examples of how an EV responds to tragic information. It's a failure to notice that they are not the victim in the story that is on the table at that time. Emotional vampires tend to keep scorecards. They tally up what others have done for them and what they have done for others, and generally come out with no one does anything for them. Do you dwell on the fact that if you died, no one would miss you or even care that you were dead? That's a common statement made by EVs. If I died, no one would ever even notice. If you use that line, you most likely are an EV, and you need to start changing the way you interact with people and stop using other people's energy to survive. You often scheme and plot ways to make those around you prove that you are loved. You pretend to be sick. You ask your partner over and over if they'd die for you. You expect your partner to back you up no matter what you say or do, even if you're wrong. Unconditional love, my dears, is one thing, but loss of personal identity and thought is totally another. A loving partner can express their thoughts that are different from yours without being accused of not loving you. And in a loving relationship, it's okay that you both think completely differently as long as you accept that the other person has different feelings. To try and beat and berate your partner into having the same opinion as yours is nothing more than having a black and white, wrong or right situation. And that's not what relationships are about. Do you need there to be a clear right and wrong, a clear winner and loser? You need to ask yourself that, and then ask yourself, are you an EV? Because that is an EV move. Emotional vampires can't handle constructive criticism at all. They cannot see that there's still a good person inside there if they're wrong. So their ideology always has to be perfect, and they will fight to the bitter end to show you why their perspective is the correct perspective. If you can't handle constructive criticism, you just might be an EV. So, you bring other people into it. Emotional vampires often say, well, so-and-so and so-and-so, or the rest of the world, or all these people would also agree with me. If you have a valid and strong point, and it's your opinion, standing on your own 2 feet without having to have others back you up is a healthy way of expressing your opinion. If you need to have proof for everything, then you might consider your possibility that you are an EV. My hope in making this video is that those who are an EV and don't recognize it find the peace they're searching for, and find the serenity that they so need, and letting the pain go, and realizing that we are not perfect. We are human beings. It's okay for us to be wrong, just as it's okay for others to be right. The support I've received on the EV series has been just fantastic, and I thank you all very much. I see a lot of comments that are left that tell me that there are many EVs who have watched the series as well. In general, I can't thank you enough for your support. I'm not a licensed clinical psychologist. I'm just an empath who feels the pain that people are experiencing, and it's my sincerest wish, whether you're an EV or not, that you live in a peaceful and comfortable world, and that you create the space that you need to do that. Remember that we are not in control of the events that happen in life, but we are in control in how we respond to them. Until again, thank you, YouTube. My love to all. Have a good day.
Find out what life is worth. So come sit beside me now. It takes some time, maybe talk of where the years are gone. Lately I realize that I've been revolving you as the earth to the sun. The moments I knew you, I found what I'm looking for. In the moments I lose you, won't let that happen, won't let that happen, no. 'Cause 1 in a million ain't something to